Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Friday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, stock index futures are currently below fair value, but we're not seeing any aggressive selling in the pre-market on Friday morning. Looks like investors are taking a little break. We do have some economic numbers coming out this morning, but not until after the market opens. Now, on Friday mornings, I like to print off some weekly charts just to see if there's any major trend changes this week going into the weekend. And that is not the case this week. We've got the TSX up nearly 1.5%, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ both up over 2%. We've got the Russell coming back up 1.7%. Not enough to give us a new weekly buy signal. That could change on Friday, though. We do have the price of gold up, making a new high for this move, heading towards the previous high. We are up $16.30 this week. We're up another $20 in the pre-market this morning. Gold stocks have been up on the week, not enough to change the weekly trend so far. That could change on Friday if we get a bit into gold stocks. Crude oil has come down on the week, down $2.70. So we were hoping we could break out above the high from last summer, but so far that is not the case. And we haven't seen a lot of downward pressure on energy stocks just yet. Looking at the U.S. dollar index, it has pulled back, which what we want to see at the moment. That could help stock prices continue to move higher. Now, we were also hoping bonds could continue to move up. That would put downward pressure on bond yields. That has not been the case. So that is the weak part of the equation at the moment. Now, moving from weekly charts to daily charts, we've got the VIX still on a sell signal. That's supportive for higher stock prices. The VIX was down slightly yesterday, so a very quiet day on Thursday. Now, we were hoping the U.S. dollar index would continue lower. It seems to have stopped moving lower at the moment. We were also looking for bonds to continue to move up. That looks like it's paused for the time being. And then we were hoping that if bonds continued to move up, there would be more downward pressure on bond yields. And you can see yesterday we moved right back up into the channel. So that part of the equation could fall apart if bonds continue to move lower. Next up, let's take a look at the major index ETFs, starting off with the iShares for the TSX 60. We were up again on Thursday, heading towards our next price target and the all-time high up there at 39.06. Looking at the Dow Diamonds, cha-ching, we hit our next price target. You got to lock in some profits there. Our target was 445.31. We closed at 445.38. So congratulations. Looking at the SPY, there we are. We were hit 609.38. We closed at 609.75. So you had no excuse not to take money off the table there. Now, the equal-weighted S&P 500, of course, it's nowhere near where the S&P 500 is because, of course, we're taking out the weighting of those big cap tech stocks. We're currently stuck at the 181.25 level. If we can break away from that level, then 184.38 is our next target. Looking at the NASDAQ 100, we didn't close above Wednesday's high, so a little bit of weakness there, but we are stuck at the 531.25 level. That was our next price target. So cha-ching, you got to lock in some profits there. If we can take out the December high, then 546.88 would be our next target. Looking at the equal weighted NASDAQ 100, we are stuck at the 131.25 level. You've got to lock in some profits there. So congratulations. Then the next generation NASDAQ, we're still looking for a move up to 32.81, which of course is where we topped out back in December. And then looking at the iShares for the Russell 2000, we're trying to get to 231.25, got as high as 229.35 yesterday. So trying to get over that 230 level. Now, taking a look at the world of Bitcoin, not a lot going on up here. We've got Bitcoin just put in an all-time high the other day. And we're still struggling to break out above 106.25. Of course, our next mathematical target is 112.50. We've got all the long Bitcoin ETFs, of course, are on buy signals at the moment. All the bear ETFs are on sell signals at the moment. What's a little disconcerting is the fact that none of the Bitcoin stocks are really tracking the price of Bitcoin right now. And if investors were expecting that to happen, that is not happening. So there's Bitfarms down at the bottom of the range right now. We've got Bit Digital on a buy signal, not going anywhere. Similar situation for Coinbase. We do have Galaxy Digital making a new high on Thursday, so there is one stock the market seems to love. No love for Hive at the moment. Hut 8 doing a little better, but certainly not trending anywhere. It's on a buy signal on both sides of the border. Mara's on a buy signal right now, not going anywhere. MicroStrategy's on a buy signal right now, not going anywhere. So, yeah, these stocks are certainly not tracking the price of Bitcoin, which just hit a new all-time high the other day. Let's finish off this morning's presentation, taking a look at the world of commodity ETFs, starting off with copper. Copper's bounced off the lower trend line for the past 2 days, so a close below yesterday's low would give us a sell signal on Friday. Nobody loves copper miners at the moment. Then we've got the GLD stuck up here at resistance. And you can see our next price target is 257.81, and that would take us back up to the highs from back in October. We saw a small pullback in U.S. gold stocks yesterday, small pullback in Canadian gold stocks. We're stuck here at the highs from back in December. If we can take those out, then 24.22 would be our next target for the XGD. Then junior gold miners were down slightly yesterday, no change in trend. The price of silver was down on Thursday. We've got silver miners not doing anything at the moment, junior silver miners not doing anything. So really, there's not a lot of love for miners at the moment. Then the price of palladium was up yesterday. The price of platinum was also up yesterday. And as you can see, it is not trending at the moment. Now, unfortunately, crude oil was down on the day on Thursday. It is back on a sell signal, joining gasoline on a sell signal. Natural gas was down on Thursday, not enough to give us a sell signal. That would change on Friday with a close below $17.68. Now, looking at the stocks themselves, we saw Canadian energy stocks down on the day. Of course, on Monday we popped, and I mentioned to wave that off, and we're still waiting for that next close above the upper channel line, and it has not happened so far. The U.S. energy stocks, on the other hand, were up just under 0.5% yesterday, still closing above the upper channel line. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, the market looks like it wants to do a little bit of selling at the open on Friday morning, but certainly not enough to change any major trends. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Sunday.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.